Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video. It's your boy Decaf Dr. Thunder. Before we get into it, I just want to give a thank you to you guys for the video yesterday about ranking every single car in the Crew 2. That video did very well, so thank you guys for watching that. And today we are going to be ranking all 16 disciplines of racing in the Crew 2. Some of these were absolutely painful to play, and some of these were an absolute joy. So this has taken me a while, so if you guys would leave a like to show your support and appreciation, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that would make my day. But this list is in no way correct, so I don't want to portray that. This is completely objective. If I'm being honest with you guys, I have never watched one of these videos on YouTube about ranking every discipline. I don't even know if there are videos about ranking every discipline, so this is just an objective list. So I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, we'll get into it here. So coming in at number 16, this is gonna have to be hovercraft, and I was debating between this one and number 15 on which one was gonna be lowest on my list, and it's gotta have to go to hovercraft. I mean, what made me put it at 16, right? I didn't know if it was gonna be the one above this or this one, and when I was starting to edit this video, I realized that I didn't get the gameplay for this hovercraft. And when I realized that I didn't have the gameplay, I thought about ending it all. When I realized I was going to have to go back and play it, I thought about ending it all. I was like, is this worth it? Is this worth it to be on this earth if I have to play hovercraft again? That is how bad this is. And that is not hyperbole. I thought about throwing this entire video in the trash so I could avoid playing this again, because this is disgusting. The controls on the hovercrafts are so unbelievably bad, and you just slide around in basically no control. The only way to get around corners is using your tiniest bit of nitro to push yourself back on the course. Like, I don't even know. But this makes me want to commit actual unspeakable acts against Ubisoft for making this an actual mode that I had to play with my own two hands and look at with my own two eyeballs. And that is why this is going at the bottom of the list. Never again, I'm not touching this. I played this like 1 or 2 times before, and never again. I will not play this game again. But anyways, now that little rant is over, coming in at number 15, it's gonna have to be Air Race. Now, Air Race, okay? This gives you a little bit of a tip as to why this is coming in at number 15. This is so bad that I could not even finish one race. I couldn't finish one race of this because it is disgusting. The controls are terrible. Why did this need to be in the game? This is a racing game. This is a car racing game. The boats and the planes did not need to be in this game. And air racing just feels like an afterthought, and it's not good. If you guys have ever seen Planes, you know, Dusty, I commend Dusty for doing this as an actual job, because I sat down for a minute and could not even finish the race. That's how terrible air race is. It's 0 out of 10. 0 out of 10. Slightly better than hovercraft, which is a -1 out of 10, but still so bad. So bad. Coming in at number 14, we're going to have Drift. Now, I went on here, right? And I fully expected Drift to be last place. I was like, this is going to be terrible. I had played Drift in the past. I've played all these before. But when I went to get the gameplay for this, I played Drift second, I think, and I thought it was going to be the worst thing ever. And actually revisiting it now, a while later, because some time has passed since I'd played this last, it's not as bad as I remembered. It's bad. It's real bad. Trust me, it's bad. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, Drift is kind of a perfect example of everything that's wrong with the Crew 2, right? I bought this game for a racing game. I didn't buy this game to sit here in whatever and, skid around in my little drift car and with no handling and try not to hit the walls. Like, no, that's not what I wanted. And that kind of sums up some of the things towards the bottom of this list, right? The Crew 2 is a racing game, and when they try to add things in that aren't necessarily racing, it doesn't really go well, right? And so that brings me to number 13, which is going to be motocross. And I know I've been playing a lot of supercross on the channel, and I really like that. So it might be a little bit shocking that I don't like motocross, but actually, ironically, the fact that I play supercross so much puts this one way lower on my list, because that game is so much better than this game. And I understand that that's an actual supercross game, and this is just a racing game with motocross components in it. But the motocross, the handling is so bad, it's almost comical. And it's not a good, it's not good. Like, this is not it. I can't really describe why I don't like it, but I don't like it. And if you've played this game, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's not bad for any specific reason, it's just not it. It's not the move, okay? Trust me. So coming in at number 12, we're going to have drag racing, and I don't really have a ton to say about this one, to be honest. It's just kind of boring for me, and it feels a little bit more like a mini game than it does an actual race. Fun fact for you guys, my grandpa was actually a drag racer back in his prime, but I don't know, it's just kind of boring. It's not terrible to play, to be honest, but it's not something that I would sit down and do like over and over by any means. So that's, drag racing is going to get put at number 12. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not good. Coming in at number 11, we're going to have Powerboat. And yet again, what we have here is another gimmicky race that we just didn't need in the game. We don't need boats, we don't need planes, we just need cars, and this really kind of shows the biggest downfall of, those other two things that we have in the game. The steering on these things is really bad, and it's hard to maneuver it with any skill rather than just, I don't know, like, they have no handling, and it's really cheese because you can just do the push the stick back and you get way more speed than the AI. And overall, powerboating is just not a good thing that they added to the game at all. Boats in general are not good, but this is definitively the worst one out of the two boating events that we have in the game. And coming in at number 10, we're going to have monster trucks. Now, this is probably a tier above anything else that we've seen so far. Monster trucks is fun, but still not good. It's fun. It's definitely playable. Everything below this, I would consider borderline unplayable. And monster trucks is not bad. It's not bad. I can't tell you with complete honesty that I sat there in my Dale Jr. monster truck and did not have a good time. However, it does get old very quickly. Like, the monster trucks are fun. It's fun, it's on point for a little bit, but it gets to that point after a little bit where the novelty kind of wears off and you're like, this is stupid. But like, for a little bit there, it's really fun. The Dale Jr. monster truck that I have, if you guys can find that in the community creations, definitely get that because it's pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah, I gotta say, monster trucks brings a little bit of a smile to my face, and it's definitely better than anything else on this list so far, so it's coming in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we're gonna have Jet Sprint. Now, Jet Sprint is another really gimmicky race that we have here again. it's basically like powerboating, except it's a little bit better because the turning is better on these, so the handling is way more fun to use. And I still think the boats in the Crew 2 are just bad in general, but this is definitely the better one. The handling on these things just absolutely completes this. I think this is the best they probably could have done with the boats. It kind of reminds me of if you've ever played that game in like arcades where you have the boats and they're like the power-ups. I don't know, it just reminds me of that a little bit. And overall, it's not terrible. It's like the monster trucks. You can sit down and have a little bit of fun with it. The novelty wears off pretty quickly and you want to just go back to the racing, but overall, it's not terrible, but it's not real good. Coming in at number 8, we are going to have Street Race. Now, Street Race is the bread and butter of this game, and you might think I'm rating it a little too low, but just hear me out. So, Street Race is good, right? And it's maybe better than some of the things that are higher on this list. However, street racing is kind of bland, and there are better disciplines for everything about street racing, right? Like, I never play street racing in this game because I always would rather play hypercar. If I want a little bit of a longer, cleaner racer, if I want to race with all the turns and stuff, I'll play Alpha Grand Prix or touring car or anything like that. Like, street racing is good, but it suffers from the fact that there are disciplines that are better in every single category about it. Now at number 7, we're going to have aerobatics, and that also might come as a surprise to some of you guys because it is a really gimmicky race, and you know by this point in the list how I feel about those. However, it does it right. Like, it plays itself more as a novelty, I guess it seems like, than an actual race, which fits it a lot better. And there's more to do, like it's objective based, and then there's a freestyle round between each round of objectives. And it's actually really fun and just kind of casual, and it's a different pace than the rest of the game, but in a good way. That's what it does right that the other ones all don't. This plays a different pace in a good way rather than in a bad way, which most of the things are just slow or stupid, and like this one, it just feels different and it feels a lot better than any of the other ones do. So that's why this is coming in at number 7. And at number 6, we have Rallycross. Now, Rallycross is a step above aerobatics, and this brings us into the top 6, which are definitively the best game modes in my opinion. It's a whole class above anything below it. And Rallycross is a really solid game mode. It's just, out having some fun in the dirt with the lads, it's a really just fun casual game mode to play. It feels loose and it feels good. It's just fun to go mess around in this game mode. This is one of my favorite game modes that you can just go and kind of chill and hang out in. And Rallycross is really phenomenal, so it's going to come in at number 6 for me. So coming in at number 5 for me is going to be Rally Raid. I know this might be a little bit of a hot take because it's maybe not one of the better known disciplines in the Crew 2, but I think Rally Raid is actually a phenomenal game mode. The one thing that this game really, really has going for it is the beautiful, beautiful world. And in Rally Raid, you can really explore that, And it's kind of cool to just be able to get off the roads and be in a car that lets you kind of go anywhere on the map. I think this mode is really, really underutilized as well. I feel like this is one of the biggest missed opportunities in the game because the thing about Rally Raid is it's mostly just solo time trials, and if Rally Raid would have been an actual race mode where they put other cars and you were just racing through the backwoods with this car, and it's all off-road. I think that rally raid could have been the best discipline in the game, and it just kind of held back, to be honest, by the fact that it's only time trials. However, I still think rally raid is an excellent mode. The fact that you can just explore the world really sells me on it, and it feels good to just kind of be out there. So yeah, that's coming in at number 5. At number 4, we're going to have Alpha Grand Prix, aka knockoff F1 slash IndyCar. So the Grand Prix mode in this game is really good. It feels nothing like an actual F1 game like F1 2019. I played that for a while on the channel. You guys should go watch that. But this feels completely different, and it honestly doesn't feel bad. It's not realistic. It's extremely arcadey. But one of the things I think that the Crew 2 does really well is their pro racing events. The two ones, Touring Car and Alpha Grand Prix, and the fact that Alpha Grand Prix is on this list at number 4 and we haven't even gotten to Touring Car yet, I think speaks to that. So I do have a couple things that I would maybe change if you're going to do a Crew 3, that I would maybe change for the pro racing events. And I would take out the Nitro because you want to make it a little bit more realistic. And I would add maybe a stock car thing. Like, even if you can't get the rights to NASCAR, they already have NASCAR builds in this game. Like, you already saw my Dale Jr. Camaro SS monster truck. They have that too in just normal. And they should have something like that where it's just like an oval track and you can get the stock cars out. That would be phenomenal. But Alpha Grand Prix is a really solid mode. It's really fun to play. It's pure racing and I love it. So Alpha Grand Prix is going to come in at number 4 on this list. At number 3, we have Hypercar. Now, Hypercar is like street racing's cooler older brother. The cars are faster, the races are longer, it's a lot less turns, and it's more endurance, I guess you could say, because the thing about Hypercar, like some of them, like the Gumball Rally and the one cross from New York to LA, basically you need to nail every single turn, and Hypercar can be extremely infuriating at times, to be completely honest, because you can't really do anything about it. If you mess up once, it's over. And I think that's kind of cool, to be honest. I know a lot of people don't really like that, but I think it's cool. So Hypercar is going to come in the list at number 3 for me. Now, before we get into the top 2, which were very close, by the way, I just have a couple things I want to say. One, I'm sorry if I sound tired. I've been working on this video for like 5 hours. It is deep into the night, and I'm exhausted. So if you're still watching, thank you. That means a ton. And if you're still watching at this point, let's get a little spicy with it and throw in a code word. So drop Long Boy Gang. If you follow Slim Jim on Instagram, you know. Drop Long Boy Gang down in the comments if you're still watching, and just don't say anything about it. Just drop Long Boy Gang and we'll just be an elite little club here if you've made it to this point in the video. So anyways, we'll get into the top 2 now, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick thank you. So coming in at number 2, we're gonna have Demolition Derby. And now I know what you're thinking. You were probably all thinking that it was gonna come in at number 1, but there's one thing that holds it back from number 1, and it is that although the online Demolition Derby in this game is amazing, the online Demolition Derby in this game is one of my favorite online experiences in any game ever. The normal Demolition Derby, like offline mode, is kind of poop. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of poop. Because all of the cars basically just attract to you and you can't get any big hits on anybody really, and they all just kind of like magnetize to you, and you spend basically the whole race just trying to avoid everybody rather than getting big hits. However, the online in this game, I cannot speak to it enough how phenomenal that is. It's so fun to play and just absolutely Shrek people in the online mode. And Demolition Derby in this game is phenomenal. So the offline holds it back, but it's still going to come in at a solid number 2. And coming in at number 1 is going to be Touring Car. And it speaks to Touring Car that it can beat Demolition Derby, because Demolition Derby is phenomenal. But Touring Car is underrated, and in my opinion, it is the best mode in the game. It is the most pure racing experience that this game has to offer. And you know me, I'm a racing guy, and so I had to go with a racing mode at number 1. I didn't know if it was going to be this or Alpha Grand Prix, but it's so good. It's just so smooth, and all the cars feel phenomenal. And if you get into a good online lobby, you guys can have such a good race. And even in the offline, on like the harder difficulties, Touring Car is just a great experience. If they're gonna have a Crew 3, I would like to see the same amount, if not more, Touring Car, and it is just absolutely terrific. So Touring Car, in my opinion, is the best mode in the Crew 2. So thank you guys for watching this video. I know you might not agree with my list completely, and my list might be completely jank, but I put a lot of time into this, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Feel free to leave a like. That would make my day. And as always, stay safe. This has been Decaf Dr. Thunder signing off, and I will see you guys next time.